Special thanks to Patreon supporter Tiger for making this tutorial possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Scared204 here bringing you another Minecraft World War II aircraft tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building the Henkel HE-162. The Henkel HE-162 Volksjäger, which translates from German People's Fighter, was the name of a project of the Emergency Fighter Program design competition. This was a German single-engine jet-powered fighter aircraft that was fielded by the German Luftwaffe in World War II. It was designed to build quickly and made primarily of wood, as metals were in very short supply and prioritized for other aircraft. Volksjäger was the Reich Air Ministry's official name for the government design program competition won by the HE-162 design. Other names given to the plane include the Salamander, which was the codename of its wing construction program, and Spatz, which translates to Sparrow, which was the name given to the plane by the Henkel aviation firm. The aircraft itself saw very brief service during World War II, participating in a few aerial combat battles. One did score a kill, or a confirmed kill. Other ones, really kind of sad service history. There was 13 that were lost, and 2 of which were actually shot down. The rest were lost to basically mechanical failures and problems with the aircraft. As it was rushed into service, obviously there were a lot of production problems, and the lack of resources that Germany really had near the end of the war didn't allow this fighter to reach its peak potential and basically have its peak maintainability, I guess you could say. But overall, pretty interesting aircraft, and those kind of early jet fighters that really kind of paved the way into the jet age and basically the modern aircraft that we see today. So again, Germany very influential in its jet designs, and obviously some of these HE-162s were taken after the war and studied, and obviously designs were incorporated into future aircraft. So pretty cool aircraft, and quite a simplistic one that's kind of, again, I feel like lost to history, but should be a fun aircraft to incorporate if you're looking for some kind of late war German Luftwaffe, basically wonder weapons. This right here is probably going to be one of the builds you want to have. Before we go and jump in and take a look at the build, I do want to go and give special thanks to Patreon supporter Tiger for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more, you already do, feel free to check out my Patreon page. The link is down in the video description, where you can pledge a small amount to my channel every month, and in doing so earn a vehicle request of your choosing. It really helps support the work I do on my channel. Is really greatly appreciated, so definitely feel free to check that out. Again, the link will always be in my video descriptions. With that though, let's go and dive in here and take a look at the HE-162 Salamander. So going ahead and kind of getting started with it, we have the side profile of it. It's a pretty small aircraft for what it is, but yeah, pretty small. Got a front cockpit, the nose section, all that stuff. We have the jet engine, which is mounted over the top there of the aircraft, and then coming back here we get to the tail, which is a pretty interesting tail design there. And that right there is pretty much the aircraft. It's pretty simple, a pretty small one, to say the very least, but a pretty cool one, and will make an awesome addition to, again, your kind of late war scenarios you might have, or if you're looking for some kind of cool German Wunderwaffe, and this right here is probably going to do that for you. But yeah, this is the in-flight model here, so without the landing gear extended, and obviously as you saw down here, we do have the landing gear available for the model as well. So we'll be covering both of those in this tutorial, but without further ado, let's go and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer number 1. Alright guys, so moving into our first layer, we start with layer 1. Quick few things I want to mention is if you're completely new to my aircraft tutorials, the way I like to structure these tutorials, I do half on camera, half off. What this means is rebuilding the entire centerline of the aircraft on camera, and then the right side, and it'll be up to you guys to take what we do on the right side and copy over to the left side. This aircraft's pretty simple and symmetrical on both sides, so should be a pretty easy build to do with this method and all that stuff. So make a little bit more sense as we kind of progress through these layers. In addition, if you are wanting to build the landed version of the aircraft, we will be adding that on at the end as a modification to this build. So what that means is you will be building the in-flight model and then going ahead and converting it by putting the landing gear on at the end. So that will be available for you guys that do want to have this aircraft landed as well. Going ahead and jumping into it though, we're going to go and start off by going ahead and going to the aircraft here, and if you do want to build this landed, you do need to make sure you build this a certain height. So you can see here we have the ground level, we have a block and a half a space between our quartz top side here on the front and the ground level. So just make sure that that spacing is correct, because you will need to make sure that that is positioned correctly, so that when we go back into the landing gear, that's going to sit right on the ground level. But yeah, that right there is how you want that. Anyways, after that's all done there, we're going to go ahead and then place down we're going to have our quartz top slab, our iron trap door, and then a quartz top slab back from it for the front there. At this point right here, if you're on Java, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of 4 of upside down pistons, like so. If you're on a different version, such as Bedrock or Pocket Edition, I would place down a row of 4 of quartz full blocks. Either way, after those 4 blocks, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 quartz top slabs, and then 2 iron trapdoors back from that, like so. That right there is going to do it for your center line, and then move it to the sides here. We're going to go to the side of these 4 blocks right here. We're going to place down 4 skeleton skulls along the side there of those. And with it all done, you're going to do the same thing on the other side, and that right there will complete what we have there for layer 1. Let's move on to layer number 2. Move it into our next layer here. We'll be going ahead and move it into layer number 2. For layer 2 to get started with here, to place down a quartz full block on top of this iron trapdoor here, followed by a red concrete block coming off that forward, and then 2 end rods like that for the very front there. Going back from that quartz full block, we're going to place down a second block back, so you have 2 quartz full blocks there. Then at this point, you can leave a space of 3 open if you do want to do an interior. We're going to go ahead and close this off with a row of 3 of black concrete just to fill in that space so we don't have a weird void there. Basically, this aircraft doesn't really work for a interior if you're trying to make one. It's just too small. Basically, this is the only space you really have for one, so we're going to go ahead and just close this off, as there really is not much room for interior anyway. We're going to go ahead and place down a row of green terracotta. That's going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. 2 smooth quartz full blocks. If you're on Java, we'll place down 2, basically 2 of these pistons upside down, like so. If you are on a different version, I would recommend placing down a quartz full block and then a quartz top slab. So quartz full block and top slab if you're on Bedrock or Pocket Edition. After those pistons are placed, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 quartz top slabs to go ahead and round off the back there. After that's done, go into the sides. We're going to place down 2 white stained glass panes coming off these 2 quartz blocks here in the front. Then a row of 3 of mossy cobblestone walls, a sandstone wall, a row of 3 mossy cobblestone walls, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 green stained glass panes coming back like so. And on this last piston right here, we're going to have a zombie head like that on the side there as well, or that quartz top slab, whichever you have there. We're going to go then place down a quartz top slab to the sides of these 2 on the back here, then 2 rows of 2 of iron trapdoors, and then after that we want to go then place down zombie heads. However, to place these, we're going to go ahead and skip a space off of these iron trapdoors, place down a row of 2 of blocks, like so, and then we're going to place down our 2 zombie heads coming off those blocks like that. And once we have that all done right there, that is going to conclude everything we have there for layer number 2. And go ahead and take what we did on the right side here, flip it over to the left side, and you'll be good to go. With that, let's go ahead and move on to our next layer, layer number 3. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to get started with here, we're going to place down an iron trapdoor on top of this quartz block, followed by a daylight detector behind it turned to night mode, a row of 3 of black stained glass blocks, and then a row of green terracotta that's going to go back a total of 7 blocks after that. We then want to place down a dark oak wood stair, slab, daylight detector turned to night mode, and then a dark oak wood trapdoor, and then a green carpet like that for your center line. Go ahead and go to the sides on the horizontal stabilizers. We're going to place down 2 green carpets on top of those 2 slabs there, 2 daylight detectors on top of these iron trapdoors. And at this point here, if you're on Java, we'll go ahead and do the /give @p Minecraft :debug _ stick. And using this command, press enter, it should give us a glowing stick. We can go ahead and We're going to go ahead and left click our trapdoor here until we get selected open true. We'll right click this and it will activate or close our trapdoors to open to false. So like that. If you're on a different version, I would recommend probably using birchwood trapdoors instead underneath those daylight detectors, as you can actually close those if you do not have access to a debug stick. So that right there is an alternative for you. We're going to go ahead and place down 2 dark oak wood slabs on top of these 2 slabs here, and then 2 mossy cobblestone walls on top of those 2 zombie heads like that. After that's all done, go back up to our front cockpit. We're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, and 3 black stained glass panes along those black stained glass blocks. Then 2 glass stained panes back after that. We're going to go then place down a row of dark oak wood ups and down stairs. There's going to be a row of 1, 2, 3, and then a dark oak wood top slab, and then a dark oak wood trapdoor on the side there of that green terracotta block like so. After that's all done, we want to go ahead and take our quartz top slabs. We're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3 quartz top slabs coming off those 2 dark oak wood stairs, 3 dark oak wood stairs, 2 quartz top slabs, and then an iron trapdoor. Then another quartz top slab, and then 2 iron trapdoors, and then after that we're going to then place down a row of 2 of iron trapdoors, and then 2 more rows, so 1 and 2, and then 1 iron trapdoor coming off that forward one like so. And with that all done right there, that is going to basically wrap up what we have there for layer number 3. And again, here's an overview of what that should look like. Actually, one thing also, we're going to go to the end of the wing here. This iron trapdoor, we're going to place down a dark oak grid sign like that on the end. Anyways, with that out of the way, that is going to conclude what we have there for layer number 3. And with that, let's move on to layer number 4. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 4 and 5, so our last final layers here for the in-flight model. To go ahead and get started with, here we're going to place down 2 daylight detectors on top of these last 2 black stained glass blocks. So 2 daylight detectors, and we're going to go ahead and place, or turn them to the night mode like so. We then want to place down a dark oak wood slab. After that, we're going to go ahead and skip a space back, place down a black concrete block, and then a acacia wood trapdoor coming off, or actually sorry about just a black concrete block for right now, and then an acacia wood trapdoor basically right before it, so like so. Then we're going to place down a green terracotta block, a narrow black concrete block, a polished black stone wall, and then come off that polished black stone wall, we're going to place down a skeleton skull, like so. After that, to the sides here, we're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3 green stained glass panes, and then a black stained glass pane here on the back, coming off that wall there. If, or at this point also, we're going to go to the top here, on top of this acacia wood trapdoor, we're going to place down another one, dark oak wood slab back, 2 daylight detectors, and then a dark oak wood trapdoor on top of that wall. If you're on Java, we can go and alter the properties of this wall by going ahead and left-clicking the wall until we get to our selected facing. So we have selected, and it should say a direction like north or south. You'll have to figure out what direction this side is. You need to basically toggle to get it to face this direction here toward this skeleton skull. For me, it's north, but obviously it just depends on what direction you have your aircraft facing. But we're going to go ahead and basically change this so that it says to whatever direction this wall faces to tall, and that will kind of make a nicer connection here on the back and make that look a little bit nicer. Again, going to be a Java feature there for the debug stick. After that though, we're going to then move to our wings here, which will involve placing down a row of 1, 2, 3 green carpet. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3 dark oak wood trapdoors to the side there, and then 1, 2, 3 daylight detectors. Again, same thing here with the debug stick. We can go ahead and right click our iron trapdoors there to go ahead and close them flat. Again, that right there can be changed to birchwood trapdoors if need be. After this, we're going to then place down a green carpet here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 dark oak wood trapdoors to the side there, all closed, and then 1 and 2 green carpets right there. After that's all done, move into our vertical stabilizers. We're going to place down 2 mossy cobblestone walls on top of these 2 here. Then we're going to go ahead and place down 2 blocks on the inside here that kind of go up and at an angle from the walls. And we're going to go ahead and place down zombie heads coming off those 2 blocks just like that. And that right there will create that slight angle there for our vertical stabilizers. With that all out of the way, we pretty much have the main structure of the aircraft done. All that's really left for us to do is to go ahead and make this little banner design there that goes on the side of the aircraft. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the necessary materials to go ahead and make that banner, and I'll see you guys here shortly to go ahead and make it. Alright guys, this banner is pretty simple to make. To make it, you're going to need a loom, a green banner, 2 white dye, black dye, and green dye. We're going to go ahead and go into our loom, and we're going to place down our green dye as well as our white dye. We're going to go and do a line that goes down the center here exactly with white dye, and then a second line that goes through the center going horizontally to create a white cross. We're going to place this banner back into our loom, give our black dye, and we're going to go and select the pre-made cross like so. So you should get something like this, a black cross with white highlights. After we have that done, we're going to place down our green dye back into our loom. We're going to go ahead and do the line across the top of green dye and the line across the bottom there with green dye. And then we just want to go ahead and do the green border. That's going to go all the way around like so. And this right here will create this little kind of iron cross symbol that will go on the side of the aircraft here. So right on that first mossy cobblestone wall there for that logo there. Before we go ahead and wrap up this final layers here, I do want to go ahead and also mention that if you're on Java, we do have something to add on, and that is going to be going to these pistons here and taking our debug stick and right clicking each of these pistons to go ahead and create a design that looks like that for them. Helps kind of create the flow of our aircraft a little bit better, and is a pretty nice technique for us to use. So just go ahead and make sure you alter those pistons, and with that, that is going to conclude our in-flight model here for the aircraft. And with that all complete, that right there is going to complete the in-flight version here for the Heinkel HE162 A-2 Salamander. And at this point, we're going to be going ahead and now moving into adding the landing gear on to the aircraft. So with that, let's move on to the landing gear. Alright guys, so when it comes to doing landing gear here for the aircraft, it's pretty simple and straightforward to do. First things first is we want to go ahead and begin with by placing down a birchwood fence post right here instead of this iron trapdoor. So it's going to be a birchwood fence post like this, and on the bottom of this we're going to place down a wither skeleton skull. After that, we want to place down a birchwood sign on the side of that fence gate, and also a birchwood sign on the side of that slab. Same thing will be done here on both sides. Now, if you're on Java, we can go ahead and go a little bit extra by going ahead and basically sprucing this landing gear up a little bit more. This can be done by going ahead and placing down a tripwire hook on a bottom block. So we're going to go and basically build a block space between the landing gear here, struts and wheel, and the and basically build our row here. So we have that space of 1 in between that. We're going to place down a lever on the top block and a tripwire hook on the bottom one. This top lever we're going to go and activate so it faces downwards, and we can go ahead and then left click the lever by shift clicking, and we'll have selected facing. We're going to go ahead and then shift, so we crouch, and we're going to go and right click until we rotate the lever around, and it connects up to that fence post and points downwards. Next thing to do will be going ahead and going to the tripwire hook and doing basically the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and left click until we get selected facing, and then we're going to go ahead and rotate this so that it connects up to our wither skeleton skull, and it looks like that for our front landing gear. Pretty simple little design there. It looks good, and those little additions from Java really help kind of make that wheel look a little bit nicer. Fortunately, if you're on Bedrock or Pocket Edition, you'll have to probably just settle with the fence post and the wither skeleton skull. Anyways, going back from this, we want to go and then place down a end rod that's going to be coming down from this mossy cobblestone wall. Underneath that end rod, we're going to go and place down a block of coal. Or, my bad, it's actually going to be a block of coal at the side here, like so, and then a lever on the side of the block of coal that will connect up to that end rod like so. We then want to place down a quartz top slab that's going to come off this end rod, and then going back from the quartz top slab, we're going to place down a quartz upside down stair, which will be facing this direction like that. After we have that all done, we can also go ahead and use this banner design, which is pretty simple. It's only 2 materials, or 2 pieces of black dye on a green banner. But basically what you're doing here is you're going to have a green banner, you're going to do a black line that goes all the way around, so the border, and then a black line that goes horizontally for the center. And it's going to create this banner here, and we can place this down on the side of our block of coal there to kind of spruce it up and make that look a little bit nicer. And that right there will basically complete what we have there for the aircraft, and with that will conclude our in-flight model. Anyways, hope you guys do enjoy this build and are able to put it to good use. If you do use this build, I do ask you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be a thing from a sound build, link to my channel or this video if this does appear in social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for it, you're free for projects you guys are working on. Overall, enjoy the build, have fun with it, and all that fun stuff. Again, a big special thanks to Patreon supporter Yeg Tiger for making this tutorial possible, and as always, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions. And yeah, with that, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Garrett214, and I'll see you guys next time.